So you guys, today we're gonna be working on the Silverado and the Cherokee. We're getting them ready to go to Glamis. Our first time going, so we don't want these to break down. We're trying to prevent that and get them ready as well, because this line is leaning in from the top. Also on this side we have the same issue. So we're gonna jack it up and we're gonna remove the wheel so that we could cut the tack welds on the alignment tabs. So there's a couple on the inside and a few on the outside as well. Once we cut them off, we're gonna take it to alignment shop and then most likely tack them up again just so they won't move. So we're gonna jack it up and remove the wheel. We got this side done, also on this side, and the inner one on this side. It had two tacks, but we broke them off already. We're just struggling with this one right here because it's kind of tight to get the grinder in. We're hitting it with the grinder and then with the chisel just to break off the last piece off of it. We're gonna order the Dirt King stuff, but I think after we come back from Glamis, because I don't think they're gonna get here on time. We're gonna put this tire back on, but instead we're going to lift the driver's side and then put these rear wheels up here in the front and then these wheels in the back, because we've been using it like that for a while. So since we're gonna get it aligned, we know for sure the ones on the back are good. And before it gets dark, I'm gonna cut this tab off because we're gonna use this for the whip. We need a whip in Glamis, so we're gonna use this. We got this one off. While we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and remove the one on this side. This is where the light bar was mounted. You can see they cut the grill to fit that ugly ass light bar. All we were able to do last night was to remove the rear wheels. The rear, I don't know why those had locks and then the ones on the front didn't. The ones in the front are these normal lug nuts. So we were able to get these from the Z71, but these are a little bit bigger. Well, this thing right here, the silver cap, doesn't fit in the wheel. Let me show you. So it doesn't go all the way in. So if you remove that, take off the silver cap, and it fits in there nice. So now we have to go ahead and remove 20 of these silver caps, and I think what we're gonna do is thread it onto the stud and chisel it off. Hopefully that works. We got all the lug nuts done. Now before we throw the wheels on, we're gonna flush out the brake system, put new fluid in. So I'm gonna pop the hood real quick and I'm gonna grab the little pump that we used to take out the brake fluid. All right, so here under the hood we are going to get out the old brake fluid. This is the pump that we use. We got it at Harbor Freight. It's like a vacuum pump, something like that. I don't forget what it's called. You just put it in there and then you pump it, and then you start seeing all the old brake fluid come out. So we're gonna do this until this is dry, and then we're gonna fill it up with some new brake fluid. This is some of what we got out, and you can see it's super dirty. It should be a little clear, or more clear than this. And we couldn't get this out, but we're gonna flush it out with the new brake fluid. This is what we're using. It's just AutoZone brake fluid. So we're gonna top it off, and then we're gonna start bleeding from the rear passenger side and then move over to the rear driver side, and then to the front passenger side, and then to the front driver side. It got dark, but we were able to bleed all 4 calipers. You can see how dirty this brake fluid is. So we got all new brake fluid in the truck. We had already parked the truck, and then we noticed that this side, the passenger side wheel, has 2 screws through it. There's one there. There's another one down here somewhere. So we're gonna remove the wheel, and then we're gonna patch it up with one of those little things that you insert in there. and we're gonna call it good. Fuck it. It actually only has one big ass nail right there. We're gonna go get one of those plugs and put it in there. We checked the rest of the rim and it looks pretty good. So let me fix that one real quick. Today what we're gonna be doing is welding this tab right here so we could mount the whip. This is the one that we took off from the front bumper. We just cleaned it up a bit. Then we're gonna mount it like this. We were gonna do it back here, but I think it'll be all right right there. But I'm gonna measure the center from here to here, the center of the tab, and we're just gonna put it right here, tack it, and then weld it. We just gotta cover all this up with some cardboard. So I'm gonna see if I could throw you guys on the tripod once it's ready to get welded. Now the tab is all welded in, we're gonna spray it with some paint just so it won't rust. In the meantime, let's check the diff. So I believe this is the fill hole. You can see we have a pretty bad leak on this side. We are looking for a SS diff so that we could throw on here. It's a bit thicker. It's a 14 bolt. This is a 10 bolt. You can see how much diff fluid is leaking from here. See if this diff will make it over there and back. Should have wiped some of this dirt off. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is what has to come off. The diff fluid is topped off. I couldn't show you guys because I had to use my other hand to take it off, but it did spill fluid right away. We haven't gotten to that muffler hanger, but maybe tomorrow we'll do that. I'm not sure. Now we're gonna check the engine oil and transmission oil. We'll have to check once it's running, so we'll probably go pump gas later on. We're gonna clean up this little oil spill. The diff fluid is super dirty. It's also leaking from here somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it's the vent tube because it's leaking from here somewhere. And from here, most likely, I think it's a tube that's cracked somewhere because it's leaking on both sides. This side and on this side is not that bad. We're good. I don't know if you guys can see that. We're good. We're topped off. Regardless, we're gonna check it on Saturday morning once again. For the coolant, I think we're good as well. We might top it off a little more. And that's it for this truck. Now we'll have to get to the Cherokee. We just finished checking the diff fluid on the Cherokee. We also retorqued all the spacers, all the wheels, the leaf spring U-bolts. We made sure that all the bolts for the front suspension were tight. Now we're gonna move over to the fan shroud. The other day the whole fan shroud broke from one of these sides, so it was making a lot of noise against the clutch fan. We ordered this online. It was probably like 30-40 bucks. It's a cheap replacement, but we're gonna use that for now. If we would have gone to a junkyard and got one, it would have also been brittle and all, so we just decided to go with the new aftermarket piece. So we're gonna, oh, you can see right here where the fan shroud broke. So we have to remove these two 8mm, and then we have to remove the clutch fan to get the new piece in. Now that we have the clutch fan out, we could slide it back in. So I'm gonna have to do it with two hands, but we have to slide it in like this, so both pieces in together, and then slide the clutch fan back on here, put the 4 nuts, and then the 8mm that came off of right here, and then we're done. We got the fan shroud in, and the clutch fan as well. Now we're just gonna top off the coolant. It's a little bit low, not too much, but make sure that the coolant over here is topped off. We need a little bit there. We're gonna check the motor oil. It's very little. And top it off. We just got back from the alignment shop, and there's good news and bad news. The good news is that the passenger side is good on camber, and also the toe is good. The bad news is that the driver's side, the camber is off by 1.5 degrees or something like that. And you can see on the wear there's contact here, but not on this edge, the outer edge. So we need to get the wheel to stand straight, and to do that, this was maxed out or something. I don't know, he told me something like it was maxed out, so we have to pull it out from the heim joint right there. So that's gonna take us some time to do, and then we're not gonna be 100% perfect on that. We're thinking about doing like about maybe 2 full turns, because we're kind of just laying the level here on the tire. You can see that it's off by a bit. We have to get it right there. We're close to that, so I'm gonna have to remove the wheel and then get to those, break those loose, then get to removing the nuts. So it's gonna take a while. I don't know if I'm gonna show you guys the process, because we want to get this done. Tomorrow we're leaving, and today's already Friday, and it's about 11 in the morning. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. We removed the upper control arm from the frame, so it's just 2 bolts that go through. We marked the camber plates. Now we have to break this loose and pull these out evenly. So if we do 2 turns here, we're gonna do 2 turns here. The Dirt King alignment cams right here, so we're going to install them. They're pretty easy, so you just mark these original factory ones and then set them side by side with the new Dirt King. Mark where you're going to put it on the new one, and then you put them back on there, and then you just torque the bolt, well, the nylon nut, to 100 foot-pounds. And they come with 2 washers. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to use this hardware because of the bump stops. Let's see how that goes. We got the rear one in. This front one is giving us a little trouble because it's gonna be too long. It's gonna hit the bump stop, so we're gonna cut it down. This is the old bolt, so you can see they cut off just a bit, well, just enough so that it won't hit the bump stop, because when it goes all the way through, you can't even put the nut in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Cut it and throw it in. We got the alignment cams on, well, at least on the driver's side. See that you're in there. Just don't forget to put your washers on there. Got them all the way in. Now we're going to do the passenger side, and then that's it. I'm gonna go in and edit this video. It'll be posted tonight. Today's Friday, so tomorrow morning we're gonna leave. I don't know exactly what time, but for the most part, this wheel looks way better than how it was. It's not leaning as much as it was before. Once we get back from Glamis, we'll take it to an alignment shop and then get it aligned properly. But for now, this will do. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at @Yonke_OXC Films. I'll leave that in the description down below, and we'll catch you in the next one.